6 months without a grocery store. That's the challenge that I set for my family and myself almost 6 months ago. We are coming up to almost a month left, and I'm super excited. This challenge has been so amazing. I have learned so much, and I've been able to go through a lot of a stockpile that I still had left and utilize it to make lots of great meals for my family. Now, if you are new to this challenge, make sure you check out the entire playlist that I have linked. It goes through a weekly updates from the beginning. And if you're new here, then welcome. My name's Amanda, and on this channel, I focus a lot on frugal living, budget meals, and urban homesteading. If that's something that you enjoy and you want to learn more of, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow along. So I am out in my garden today, and this is where I've been getting the majority of our produce that we have been eating throughout a lot of this challenge. However, the garden is starting to shut down. I have to get out here and harvest the last of my tomatoes and the last of my kale, and as well as the last of my carrots and beets. But for the most part, the garden is done. So it has been a huge blessing so far, and it has given us a lot of food. I am still throwing tomatoes in my freezer because I do not have the time right now to be making more tomato sauce, but that time will come because I definitely need some more tomato sauce in my pantry. So last week I mentioned that I was having some issues with my kidneys and kidney stones. I still haven't heard back what's going on with any of that. But I did mention that I wanted to cut back on oxalates, and that was a big part of that was beans. Now, a lot of you guys left some wonderful tips in the comments. Thank you so much for doing that. The biggest one that I took was drinking lemon water and apple cider vinegar. That the lemon water helps the pH balance in the body, and the apple cider vinegar is said to help take apart the kidney stones. So I have started doing that every day. So apple cider vinegar and lemons have now made the essential list. Just because kidney stones are unpleasant, not something I want to have to deal with. And I really don't want any more kidney issues. So those are becoming essentials in this last month that we've got going on here. And I did decide that I'm going to keep the beans. So soaking is said to at least take out the majority of the oxalates. So making sure that I'm using dry beans that I soak myself, because the canned store-bought beans are not necessarily soaked. So I'm going to make sure that I'm using beans that I am soaking myself and preparing myself, so I know that they are prepared properly, which is fine by me because I have a lot of dried beans in the house, and I have a lot of beans that I have canned myself as well, which I know were properly soaked beforehand. Also, I do have a lot of beans, and I don't want to give up beans. They're a really kind of important part of our getting by or without spending too much on groceries. So as much as I enjoy meat, I also enjoy having beans in our diet. We can stretch meals that way. We can make our grocery budget a lot more manageable with beans in the meal plan. So the beans that I'll focus more on are lentils and chickpeas. Black beans and kidney beans seem to be higher on the oxalate list. I think I'm still going to include them, but I'm going to be focusing more on lentils. I love lentils anyways, and chickpeas as well. So I'll do some more meals with them, and then just every now and again I'll do the black beans and the kidney beans, and I'll just make sure that they're soaked properly. So that was my update on that. And then this past week, so for budget dinners, again, I can't seem to remember to video them as much as I'm like, I'm going to keep trying. Every time I make it, I say to myself, okay, I'm going to take a video of this. And then all of a sudden we're done eating. I'm like, I didn't video that at all. So, oh my goodness, unless I'm doing a specific video on it, I cannot seem to remember. Anyways, we had tacos the beginning of this week, and then we also had some soup. And then after that, we did have a couple more meat-heavy meals as I was kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do. And that's when I decided that I didn't want to be having meat all week long. So we did have pork chops and vegetables, and we had some turkey burgers as well. And then that was when I was like, okay, I think this is like my meat is almost done. And then besides the meat that I got on clearance, it wasn't necessarily where I wanted to be meal planning wise with the beans and everything. So this week was a meat heavy week, and that's fine, but going forward I am going to bring it back down again. And then we also celebrated Thanksgiving this past weekend. So we are building. So again, if you're new, we're building an off-grid cabin up north, and doing it with all the repurposed goods or things that we're able to find really cheap. And we're hoping to one day live up there. So that's where we went to go celebrate Thanksgiving this past weekend, and we did it with family, and it was really wonderful. And I made my cranberry sauce with my leftover cranberries that I used to make the cranberry juice. So again, nothing goes to waste, right? So I made that cranberry juice, and then I took those leftover cranberries and I made the cranberry sauce with it. As for this week and anything that I went to buy, we did buy dairy this week, cheese as well as milk and cream cheese. And then I also had to buy more flour. And this week I did decide to buy a better quality flour. I normally buy the absolute cheapest flour there is. So a lot of our 10-pound bags go for $20 here, but there's one that goes for $12. And that's normally what I buy. And then I decided I really wanted to get a more nutrient filled flour so that hopefully our baking kind of fills you up more, it lasts more, it is more fulfilling, because the flour that I'm buying right now, the cheapest flour is enriched white flour. And I decided to try and invest in better flour moving forward, considering I am doing all of our baking. So I have a Mennonite store that's actually right beside our grocery store, and they carry organic spelt flour. So that's what I bought, and that's what I'm going to learn to bake with, because it's a little bit different baking with that than it is baking with the regular white flour. It doesn't rise as quickly, so it's kind of a new skill that I'm learning, just being able to cook with this more whole wheat flour. So that was on the purchase list this week. Another thing that is new that you might notice is that I decided to take part in a CSA. Now that our garden is shutting down and I want to keep our money as local as possible, my son's friends' family have a farm and they run a CSA with all these vegetables with no sprays whatsoever. And they do it really kindly with the earth. They run this farm. So I really, really wanted to support them. So we decided to take part in this CSA. So we will be getting fresh vegetables from them until December. So again, I feel like this is fine because I'm not taking part in the grocery store and we're just supporting family friends. That, and I really wanted my family to be able to have fresh produce throughout the rest of this challenge because my garden is basically done. We did receive we did get a light frost last weekend, so I know that more is coming. So I have to get out here and get the rest of my tomatoes harvested and shut this garden down for the season. It'll be sad to see it go. And I'm just going to take this moment right here to thank my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for being part of my community. You really help to keep me going. And if you're interested in what that is, I have a community over on Patreon where I share extra video tutorials that I do not share here. I also have extra frugal blog posts every week, as well as extra exclusive content. So if you're interested, I will have that link in the description box for you. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for joining me here today. And we're heading into that last month where I am done mid-November. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you all next time.